For people with learning disabilities, finding employment can be a challenge. JB Gill has been to meet a Nottinghamshire charity trying to help, and as ever, he likes to arrive in style.
I'm travelling with Nottinghamshire Fire and Rescue Service, but we're not on the way to an emergency. We're heading to their headquarters just outside the city, and I'm here to help with lunch. Pulp Friction is a charity for young people with learning disabilities who run the canteen here. Jill Carter is their project director.
So this is what you'll be doing. So Abigail here.
Hello Abigail.
Hi, am I?
Yes, well thanks, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good. What are you up to?
I am doing meet and greet.
Meet and greet. Okay,
So what do you do
very
when somebody comes in? They order in the morning, don't they?
Order in the morning.
Okay, so you make sure they've got the right food.
Yeah.
I realise that life skills are really important, so our focus is on helping people to develop their social skills, their independence skills and work readiness skills.
Hello.
Salad.
Cucumber.
Tomatoes and cucumber, well done, and you're putting those out for our customers. Got a really nice team ethos here, and we're very clear that we're always learning from each other. All of us have got something to learn every day.
This ingenious smoothie bike is how it all began.
Bike.
Get on this bike, okay? Jill's daughter Jessie has learning difficulties, and the bike enabled her to start a little enterprise making smoothies at events.
Biker.
But the project grew quickly, and they were invited to run the kitchens here at Nottinghamshire Fire HQ, and they soon recruited more volunteers. Cheers, Albert.
I first met Jill when our daughters were at school together, at special school, and I saw Pulp Friction starting to be developed. And then when Jill moved to the canteen here, I basically sort of pestered her for a job.
And do you feel that Pulp Friction is an example of the work of Jesus Christ?
Absolutely. When I read about him in the Gospels, I see a man who lived really identifying with those who were on the outside. He gave them love, he gave them attention, he gave them time, you know, and that's at the heart of Pulp Friction.
There you go.
Lovely, thank you.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
So Adam, what sort of things do you do here?
Sometimes I serve up what people want, and people tell me what they want, and I get it ready.
It's had a huge impact on everybody that works at Nottinghamshire Fire and Rescue Service, and there is, whether people admit it or not, a fear factor of talking to some people with disabilities, especially hidden disabilities, and it takes that experience of young adults with learning difficulties to fully understand it and to be fully at ease with it.
And what is it that you love so much about working here?
Here I love it because the people, nice people, they're nice and welcoming, people walk in smiling, happy.
Yeah. Do you cook Arabic food?
My mum does all the time.
Oh, yeah.
We have like samosas, pakoras,
Yeah.
we have wraps and everything.
Giving people who normally wouldn't have the attention, the time, the opportunity, that's what we're really bringing out, and that's why I think as a Christian, working here enables me to live out my faith.
The greatest day in history, death is beaten, you have rescued me. Sing it out, Jesus is alive. The empty cross, the empty grave, life eternal, you have won the day. Shout it out, Jesus is alive. He's alive. Oh, happy day, you washed my sin away. Oh, happy day, I'll never be
Nottingham is the setting of one of the world's best-known legends, the story of Robin Hood. What's less well known is that Robin may have been motivated by a strong Christian faith. One of the earliest references to the famous outlaw is a 15th century ballad known as Robin Hood and the Monk. It describes him being arrested whilst praying and then imprisoned in one of Nottingham's many caves. Should I be worried that you've brought me into this cave? Because I noticed on the way in it says it used to be a dungeon.
Yes, but only for wrongdoers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you should be fine, shouldn't you, really? Yes, way back in the midst of time, this would have been one of the jails for the Nottingham area. It has housed various felons over the years.
Like who?
Well, I guess the most famous one people usually know about is Robin Hood. There is an old tale from the 15th century which does speak of him being arrested and brought to a dungeon, possibly this one, where he was incarcerated.
For how long?
Well, not too long. You never keep Robin Hood locked up for too long, do you? No, he always gets out eventually, so he did with the help of Little John.
Why was he arrested in the first place and brought here?
Well, he was actually arrested at church. He went to prayer and apparently he was a bit weak from Lent, so he was overcome by all the guards. It was at St Mary's Church, which is just on the other side of the street.
There's been a church on this site for well over 1,000 years, so you never know, Robin Hood could have walked this very path. You don't normally hear of Robin Hood going to church.
Well, in the Middle Ages, church is very important to people, especially if you're committing a lot of sin, which he may have thought he was doing.
Is it just a story, or is he a real person?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? So there's lots of speculation about who he could be, maybe he's an amalgamation of different people, because all stories come from somewhere. So those original tales that were written all those years ago have to have some grain of truth in them.
He's seen very much as an outlaw. How does that go hand in hand with the Christian faith?
Well, let's not forget he didn't keep all the things he stole. So part of the Christian faith is helping those around you, and that's what he certainly did when he was given to the poor. At that time as well, we had a much bigger divide between the rich and the poor and the haves and the have-nots, and looking at the plight of those who didn't have anything and social justice, very important. And let's not forget he did have a monk in his little group.
Why do you think that this story has stood the test of time? You know, it's passed from generation to generation.
They're very timeless themes, aren't they? It's right and wrong, good and evil, helping each other. So they're timeless themes that just keep going on, and everyone likes a nice swashbuckling adventure at the end of the day as well, don't they?
It's nearly time for our Young Choir of the Year competition that aims to find the very best young choirs in the United Kingdom. It's recording in Bolton's Victoria Hall on March the 9th and 10th, and you can be there. To apply for free tickets, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/Songs of Praise. And now, here are last year's senior winners, Strathern School Chamber Choir, with Hallelujah, Get Happy.
We're heading across the river, wash your sins away in the tide. It's all so peaceful on the other side. Forget your troubles and just get happy. You better chase all your cares away. Sing hallelujah, hallelujah, get happy, get ready for the judgment day. The sun is shining, come on, get happy. The Lord is waiting.